Hi everyone, it's Andrea over at thefourthseam.com, and today I am here to talk to you about how you can find your customers and communicate with them. So one of the greatest benefits of having an Etsy shop is there is this really dynamic, content-rich platform that's running Etsy that provides sellers with excellent statistics so that you can answer those questions and more. And today I want to take you inside of my Etsy shop and show you my stats so that we can learn and you can apply this information to your shop. Now, initially, if you're just starting out, you're not going to have a lot of data there in the stats, which is why I'm showing you mine, because that data will come for you and then you will be able to refine your process using your own data. But I have been selling on Etsy since 2008, so my shop and the data that we're going to look at is a really good foundation for you to launch from, okay? And there are a few surprises in here and some things that I think you'll find counterintuitive to what you thought. So shall we go inside the dashboard here in the shop manager, and let's see here where this information that I'm going to access is, and then we can talk more about how you can use that, okay? Okay, once you've logged into your Etsy account, if you were looking at it from your home page there, your shop storefront, you'd go into Shop Manager, and then you're going to come over here to the left-hand navigation and access stats. And across the top here, you have three options: traffic, listings, and customers. Let's take a look at traffic first, because the question that I originally posed to is, how can I find my customers, or how can you find your customers? And actually what we need to be asking is, how do my customers find me? Okay, because the internet is a seemingly vast, endless sea. So it's really going to be very, very difficult if you're out there trying to drag customers back to you. Much easier if they just come to you, right? So think about that. If you had a shop, what would be easier if a brick and mortar shop, if you stood outside and drug people inside, or if you just had such a pleasing window front that they couldn't help but want to come in? So it's much, much easier for your customers to find you than for you to find them. So what we can tell from the stats is, one, if customers are finding you, and two, how they're finding you. So go under traffic here and we will scroll down, and this is looking at my stats for 2016, so we can get a big view here. So okay, so at the top here we have the total visits, orders, and revenue. So it's obvious that customers did find me, and I am excited for your customers to start finding you as well. But what we want to go down here is to traffic sources. So a little over 26,497 people visited my Etsy shop last year. Now over here, they're going to break down this pie chart here. 58.3% of the people who visited my Etsy shop started off at Etsy.com and used the Etsy search tool to find my product. That's wonderful news. Do you know why? Because if you're brand new and starting your Etsy shop, you don't have to have a massive social media following. You don't have to have anything other than a great product and exceptional sales content. Okay, so that's what I'm here teaching you how to do, is refine your product and create a great sales page. That's all you need to be successful on Etsy. It's really easy to think that you have to have 10,000 Facebook followers or be a superstar blogger. You don't have to know how to do or use any of those tools to be successful on Etsy, because Etsy in and of itself is a large enough platform with a large enough customer base that you can find success right there. And these numbers show you that almost 60% of my business came directly from Etsy. So that is wonderful, wonderful news. So what you want to do is spend your time perfecting your product and your sales listing before you spend all that time, which is essentially wasted on social media. Okay, I know that is some new information coming out about social media, and that is just straight up addictive. But that doesn't make it useful. A lot of things that are addictive are not useful. What is useful is data like this that indicates my sales are not coming from Facebook or Instagram. They're actually coming directly from the Etsy search box, which means the content that I have in my Etsy shop, the photos, the products, the pricing, that's what matters. So now let's explore how we can perfect that content even more based upon this data. So you go down a little bit further there, and you can identify the search terms that folks used to find my item and then the total visits. So these are terms that I know I've already integrated into my shop. Just there, touching back on social media, very, very few visits in comparison to the total visits came from social media, okay? They're saying 8.5%, but if you look specifically down here at the social media, the bulk of that came from Pinterest, which is largely out of your control. You can have a Pinterest account and such and create boards, but that's largely dependent upon your customers liking what they find and pinning it and sharing it. So that's even proves my point even more. Facebook was 9.9%, not of all of my stuff, but just of that 10% of social media. Instagram, a very low 2.6 of the 2,200 views, and so on. So again, social media is not where you're going to find your customers, so don't waste a lot of time there. It's okay to check in, post, a post once a day, but don't sit there obsessing over social media, all right? You want to work on your shop. You want to work on your product if you want to be successful here on Etsy. So we're going to go back up to the top here. And we're going to take a look at customers. Yay, because these are the people who have the money, who are buying your product, who are going to tell other people about your product. That's what you care about. You care about your real customers. So this is a relatively new feature, and it's super interesting. Its title here is Other Searches by Your Customers. These are the items that your customers are searching for on Etsy. Now, this will offer you a lot of insight. The first search was camera strap, which is very insightful because I only sell camera strap covers. So there is a significant portion of people who visited my site who are actually looking for a camera strap. So I have a great opportunity there. If I wanted to start to produce camera straps, I could do that. Then the second search term was monogram decal. While I'm not interested in making decals, I do offer monogramming as a service, and so that lets me know that people are seeking monograms. Then the third term is camera strap cover, which is insightful because when you search, first you kind of search broadly, and then as those results are returned, you refine your search. So by searching my shop, they were able to refine their search, and this is indicating to me that now they just want to see if there are any other choices out there. But I am definitely in the running and have the right search terms. Maternity gown is also insightful. I don't have any interest in making maternity gowns, but that confirms my assumption that most of my customers are moms, and it appears as if they're expecting. So that gives me some insight how to speak to them and the language and how I can connect with those expectant mothers. So that's very, very insightful. Camera straps is insightful because that shows you the difference between the plural and the singular version in your keywords, and that's essential. They are differentiating between camera strap and camera straps. It would seem logical that if you're at a search box, you would type in camera straps with an S, because you want to see all your options, right? So don't forget to list the singular and the plural forms of your products in your keywords, in the title, and in the description as well. Also, you can use that language when you're communicating with customers on social media. Camera strap with lens pocket. Now we're getting very, very specific. So these are people who have searched for some time now, and they're really refining their search. So the most comprehensive, refined bank of keywords that I could use for my products would be camera strap with lens pocket. And that is interesting to me as a seller, because I might have included camera strap with lens cap pocket, and that cap part could have offset me somewhere. So I can go back and play with that, omitting cap and just working with camera strap with lens pocket, which made it into these top searches here for people who continued out of my shop and continued their search there on Etsy. Very useful information. Then you can go down here and search and see your customer location. The majority of my customers are in the United States, and I do have some in Canada, the United Kingdom, Brazil, and Australia. I happen to ship internationally. If you don't ship internationally, you may want to consider doing so. It is fairly easy to ship internationally, and Etsy has policies already established that will outline customs and duties and fees like that for your customers. So the last thing that I want to look at here is customer device usage. And it's almost equally split between the desktop and the mobile phone. So that means people are using their phones for almost everything, okay? So on the Etsy app, which is what most people would be using when they're on their phone, you do not see the item description unless you click on that. And that is very interesting, because that means that your customers are, most of them, unless they understand they have to click to view more, and it does not say that, most of them are basing their decision to buy off of your title and your photo. So make sure that you have excellent titles and excellent photos. All right, so that's what I have for you here. There's some additional content over at thefourthseam.com under segment number 8, and let me just let you know what we're going to be talking about here in the next segment. We are going to be moving on to customer service, specifically providing stellar customer service. This will be what sets you apart from the majority of sellers on Etsy, and I am going to offer you my very best customer service policies, and it's obviously up to you which of those you would like to implement, but customer service has to be one of the primary pillars in your business. So I'm excited to talk to you about that. I am very passionate about service, and I hope that I can convey that to you in the next segment. Until then, have a beautiful day, everyone.